Okay, time for the event of a lifetime. And for me to try and remember what voices I was doing. Okay, so this takes place during knitting? Whatever. Why did I agree to this? Because that one time you didn't pay me overtime, I had to pay my medical bills. That doesn't mean you can just not pay your favorite employee. Rita, you're my only employee. Yeah, but even if I wasn't, I'd still be your favorite. Yeah, I guess. Aw, thanks, boss. Oh, she's so cute. Don't get flattered. You were practically fishing for that one. Anyway, you said that you owed me one for not paying me, and you didn't say what that one was, so I decided that you owed me a day all to ourselves, and I also decided that I wanted to look at some cute dogs, so here we are. I was thinking more along the lines of, I'll pay you back when I get more money. You could have just asked me to hang out on one of our off days. You never want to hang out with me on our days off. You always say you're busy, but I know you're just brooding alone in your apartment. You don't know that. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Yes, I. Oh my god, boss, look at that dog! Rita jumped off the bench to point dramatically at an old lady walking a dog that was about the size of her name brand shoes. Look at that little puppy! Look at those three cute little faces! Boss, which one's your favorite? Middle one for sure. The one in the middle was a chocolatey brown with a wrinkled face, dark eyes, and floppy ears. Ooh, I get to hear about all of them. Pure black with striking blue eyes and sharp upward-facing ears. Ears partially folded over. Middle one. Yes, the one in the middle. Oh, yeah, me too, boss. I just want to squish those big, wrinkly cheeks. Oh, and look at that one. She moved her attention from the small Cerberus to a large... yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a rock. No way, it's one of those, rocks. No way, you'll see. We spent at least a minute just staring at the maybe dog, and it hadn't so much as twitched. Rita seemed ready to admit defeat. All right, fine, I think it... Look! A person from across the park called out something inaudible and patted their legs, and the rock shifted, stood up on four stubby little legs, and waddled over to them. Huh. See? I told you so. Yeah, Uh-oh. What's wrong, boss? That guard's coming toward us. Boss, what did you do? I didn't do anything. Probably. Hello, officer. What can I do for you? Oh, it's the waiter. Yeah, I've gotten reports of suspicious characters loitering at the dog park. Suspicious characters? What Please leave if you don't have a dog. Rita glanced at me to take care of the situation. Protest or lie? Protest. Last time I checked, it wasn't illegal to sit in a park bench. No, it's not, but it is illegal to loiter in the dog park if you don't have a dog. What? No, it's not. Yes, it is, and if you don't leave right now, I'm going to be forced to ticket you. You're not going to be forced to do anything. Rita pulled on my sleeve, and I shut up. Come on, boss, let's just go. What? Oh. Yeah, alright, let's go. Sorry about that, Rita. Aw, don't worry about it, boss. It wasn't your fault anyway. Now let's find some place for lunch. Oh, his hair changes colors. Of course his hair changes colors. Junebug, you're here! I'm so glad you're finally going to be in one of my shows. The audience is going to just eat you up. It's not like I had much of a choice, Cecil. Your family owns half this city, and I'd like to keep my head attached to my shoulders. That's the spirit, Juno. We're having you on a show with two other lucky winners and a man who's earned the affection of our family. I do like... Okay. It slaps better not in the purple, but I think he should have, like, some mesh on, baby. I knew enough about the Kanagawa family to feel a flash of pity for the guy. Cecil's affections were those of the bloody variety, and I didn't even want to imagine what it meant to have Min Kanagawa invested in you. Her last husband was still freshly dead, after all. But I'm still trying to decide which show. We didn't specify on the serial tickets what type of game, and you know how I love keeping the audience in suspense. I hadn't thought you'd be one of our contestants, Junebug. And since you are our special guest, I'll let you choose what game we do. I've narrowed it down to these three. Suddenly, I missed Rita with a passion. She'd have known what all these stupid shows were about. With my calm gone courtesy of Kanagawa cousins, all I could do was try to decide based on the title of the shows. From the Jaws of Death, Love Bites, 50,000 Cyber Bees with Guns. Okay, I'm gonna... Well, I used to knew I was hard to kill, so I picked From the Jaws of Death. If I get a choice, From the Jaws of Death. Oh, I hoped you would pick that one. It's my new show. This will be its debut episode, you know. Good for you. Although it would be a shame. You do have such a nice face, Junebug. I just can't stand ruining it. What? No, that decides it. We'll have you on Love Bites. You're more likely to survive that one. More likely? Oh, don't frown like that, Junebug. I'll let you choose another aspect of the show. Oh, yeah, that was my concern. Love Bites is a dating show. A dating? And since you're just too cute to bear, cute! I'll let you choose. Would you rather be the lady trying to find the love of your life, or would you like to seduce the mystery man behind the curtain? Oh god, if you pick the former, it's totally gonna be, it's the 3 different aliases. Because it's the two and then man that they like. So that's 3, and that's the same amount of aliases. Well, at least it couldn't be any worse than getting tortured or killed, right? Damn it, Cecil, if I had to go on that joke of a show, and I'm fond enough of my head that I like it attached, so I did need to go on that show, at least Cecil let me choose my role. Bachelorette. Okay, I'm also going to save here so that I can do this bit differently, too. Eligible Bachelor. If I'm one of the Bachelorettes, then I don't... Oops, that's not what I wanted. Whoops. That's not the option I wanted. Whatever. I'll go back. Then I don't have to be if I'm one of the Bachelorettes, then I don't have to be the focus of attention, right? I don't know about that, Junebug. A lady like you is hard to ignore. But wait, Junebug, surely you're not going on screen looking like that? We need to get you into costume and makeup. Costume... Cecil, I don't want... Nonsense, Junebug. Now come along. Oh, I am excited. Welcome, beloved audience, to tonight's episode of the longest-running show on the Kanagawa Network, Love Bites. I'm your host, Cecil Kanagawa, and tonight we've got a real treat for you all. You may not know him, but he probably knows you. Our final hopeful Bachelorette is none other than Hyperion's own private eye and lovely lady, Juno Steele. Okay, this was the one I want. Say hi, Juno. Hi, Juno. He looks pissed off. He's gonna get him. As you can see, he's got a sense of humor. Hopefully tonight's mystery date will find it as delightful as we do. Now, you've already met tonight's mystery date. As always on Love Bites, Juno and the rest of the Bachelorettes have no idea who the mystery date is, just as he doesn't know who they are. As you know, the mystery date only gets to ask 3 questions to figure out which of these Bachelorettes will be the love of his life. It wasn't the option I wanted. Never mind. Let's get into it, shall we? Cecil had made it clear I should bat my eyes and go along with whatever the mystery date wanted. For some reason, he thought I would be rude on screen if he didn't employ some light threats of death. I should have done what he wanted. The Kanagawa family is no joke, but I really didn't have to... Mystery date. Bachelorettes, what's your favorite place on Mars? Oh, it's the waiter. Probably Halcyon Park. It's just so pretty. I have to say the Oasis Resort. It's expensive, but oh, is it worth it. Oh, Cecil's eyeliner. Oh, he's pretty. Honest answer. Hyperion City. Really? Why? I know it might be a dump, but it's home. Of course, I understand. That's totally Nereus. Look at him. He really did sound like he understood. Weirdo. Our mystery date can ask these Bachelorettes 2 more questions before the finale. I know that's what all of you lovelies are really turning in for. Finale? Oh, what did that mean? Knowing Cecil, nothing good. I didn't have time to figure it out right then, though. I had to answer another ridiculous question. Where would you like to retire to? I've heard Acna is beautiful. I think I could like the Outer Rim for my retirement. Olympus Mons is my ideal retirement location. Hopefully I'll have married someone rich enough to visit the resort frequently. Honest answer. Frankly, I'll be surprised if I ever get the chance to retire. Oh, why do you say that? Let's just say my line of work doesn't come with a benefits package. We're down to the wire now, folks. Our Mystery Jade has just one more question to try and find his true love before we get to the finale. As you all know, that's when things really get exciting. I didn't know what game Cecil was playing at, but I shouldn't make this finale, whatever it is, any worse on myself. It would probably be best if I just answered the stupid questions how Cecil wanted. For my final question, what makes you laugh? It's a classic, but still so good. Videos of cats will always make me laugh. I love a good comedy stream. Even old reruns of Turbo can get me laughing like crazy. What makes me laugh? Honest answer. I don't spend a lot of time laughing, honestly. There's nothing that can make you laugh? Well, my friend, my secretary Rita, she can be ridiculous. Whip smart, sure, but also just absurd enough to make me laugh sometimes. She sounds like an amazing person. Yeah, she is. Now we're to the part you've all been waiting for, folks. The grand finale of Love Bites. Throughout the broadcast, we've been receiving your votes via comm, and it's time to reveal who our dream pair is going to be tonight. Votes? Cecil, you didn't say. And with an overwhelming number of votes, the winning couple is going to be... I thought it was up to the Bachelorettes and the date to decide. I guess I shouldn't have been surprised that Cecil was keeping us dancing along to his tune. Juno Steele and Christopher Morales! Congratulations, you two. You're the big winners tonight. Christopher Morales? Oh, Nureyev. I think that's Nureyev. Oh, boy, that is... I guess it's a look. Oh, congratulations to us. Stick around through this commercial break to see their broadcasted wedding. Wedding! Love Bites will be right back. What the hell, Cecil? I'm not gonna marry some guy I've just met. If you didn't want to, you should have said. It's all explained in your contract, you know. What contract? All I did was call the number inside of a cereal box. That's not exactly legally binding. What are you saying, Junebug? You didn't want to be on my show? Don't you like me? Kinder, but still truthful. Kinder. I like you fine, Cecil, but that doesn't mean I'm about to marry a stranger on live TV. I can't. Okay. I can't say I understand why you're so against it, but all right, Junebug. What do you think about all this, Christopher? Yeah, you've been pretty quiet. You don't have to do whatever he wants, you know. Don't I? I might not know much about Mars, but I do know I could do worse than keeping the favor of the Prince of Streams. Oh, Christopher, you're such a flirt. Better save that for your bride-to-be. So that must be the man who earned the affection of the Kanagawa family. I could see why. There were worse people I could marry, that's for sure. There was a dangerous sort of beauty caught in the curve of his neck, carved into his sharp cheekbones, an even sharper smile. It sent a shiver down my spine when his bright eyes caught mine. No, wait. Focus, Steele. Cecil, I told you. Yes, you won't marry Christopher, though I can't imagine why not. That doesn't mean he can't marry someone else. We've got 2 other contestants, you know. Wait, you're still gonna make him get married? How do I react? That poor idiot's got him snared up in Kanagawa affairs. I could tell from his Outer Rim accent and general cluelessness that this must have been his first time in Hyperion City. After all, a man like this wouldn't survive to a second trip. The least I could do was give him some advice. Listen, I know how Cecil's huge ego makes it seem impossible, but you can't just ignore him. Hey! Just get back on a shuttle and leave Mars. You'll be fine off-planet. You make it seem like I'm going to do something terrible to him. Aren't you? I can speak for myself, you know. I could only watch as Morales turned to Cecil, his grin sharp enough to slide through ribs. I can't thank you enough for your patronage, Cecil, but I'm afraid I'm just not one for the limelight. But Christopher, if you don't get married, then the whole show is ruined. Actually, I overheard the other 2 contestants complimenting each other in the green room. It seems there was a relationship budding under our noses. Oh, that's cute. Oh, the critics will never see this coming! A twist ending, a new couple. Why, it's wonderful! Cameramen, do we have any footage of that exchange? And just like that, Cecil was gone in a flash of barked orders and swishing cloth. Besides me, Morales was smiling the smug grin of a fox who caught the canary. Or the cat in the chicken coop? Point was, he looked smug. Well done. Not everyone can escape Cecil's attention without losing a limb or two. I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about. He was terrible at playing innocent. His grin was too wide, revealed too many teeth. I felt something heated and impulsive rising in my chest at the sight of him. I looked away. This was quite a bit more fun than I expected. I don't suppose things are always so entertaining around you? There's rarely a dull moment, that's for sure. Well then, I think I'd quite like to see you again, Juno Steele. I don't suppose you'd be willing to play tour guide around Hyperion City? I've got some time between meetings tomorrow afternoon, and I've heard wonderful things about the Museum of Colonized History. I should say no. I should really, really just say no and never see this off-worlder with his stupid smile and clever eyes ever again. Yeah, sure, that'd be fine. I picked a no answer, I want you all to know. Damn it! Oh, wonderful! I'll see you tomorrow then, shall I? Yeah, sure, see you then. Morales was so obviously delighted that it was hard to maintain a bad attitude. Good thing I was so practiced at it. I turned away from Morales without another word and didn't let myself look back. Maybe I would see him again, maybe not. If there was anything that Hyperion City had taught me, it was that it was not to bet on people. And I wasn't about to take a gamble on some fresh-faced stranger who was a bit too smart for his own good. This was just a weird evening that I'd tell Mick about at drinks later, and a new dress that Rita would gush over, and another face to haunt my daydreams. Right. It was past time to get out of the Kanagawa Manor. I am! Oh! Oh, new one! Hello! I'd probably worn a groove in my office floor with all the pacing I'd been doing that day. I've been trying to focus on cases, but my mind kept circling that week like one of Jupiter's moons. I knew something was going on right under my nose, but the second I tried to hold it to the light, it was gone, replaced by the ghost of a hand against 9, the burn of a lingering glance and a feeling, a stirring in my chest like I've not felt in a long time. Not since... Hey, Mr. Steele! Rita? Where did you come from? The door, boss. Anyway, you looked like you were getting stuck in your head, so I went down to Mundo's and got some coffee. Lots of sugar, just like how you like it. That's how you like it, Rita. You're drinking it, ain't ya? She was right, I guess, and holding onto the cheap paper cup, feeling the weight and heat of it in my hands helped. Grounded me. Barely. What you thinking about anyway? I know it ain't work, no offense, boss. You haven't gotten anything done all week. What's going on? Feelings. Yeah, I've gotten kind of distracted. Boss, I ain't never seen you blush like that before. I'm not blushing. I'm just trying to work something out, and I keep going around in circles. I don't want to fall for someone just to get stabbed in the back. Oh, boss, if you needed someone to bounce your ideas off of, you can talk to me. I'm as bouncy as they come. Oh, thanks, Rita. That might help. Him, something else. Something else is grayed out. The problem is him. He waltzes out of nowhere and instantly has all these big name connections, like he's one of the big names too. But I've never even heard of him before. Maybe I just ain't heard of him, boss? Something crazy ain't going on just because I met a new guy. It's not that, it's... What is it? Something else is both grayed out. It won't let me pick it. He seems to know everything about me already, like we've known each other for years. I don't know if that means he's done his research on me, or has been spying on me, or you two are just really compatible. No, Rita, it just doesn't make sense. What doesn't make sense? Nothing you're saying is that crazy, so what's making you feel so weird? What's wrong, boss? Oh, no. It doesn't make sense that it's me. Boss? This amazing guy, handsome and charming and kind. He's intelligent and understanding and swings in on a beam of starlight and what? Chooses me? Let's be realistic, Rita. No one like that would choose me. Boss. Forget it. You can go home, Rita. Watch some streams. Okay. I turned away to look through the blinds, the neon filtering through the room and casting ladders on my face. Cars and people moving below like... Hey, what the hell? Rita, where are you going? That's my comms! Sorry, boss, but you ain't gonna wallow tonight. And don't tell me you won't, because after that speech, it's pretty obvious. I got your stuff and we're having a ladies' night. Rita, you don't have to... Too bad, Mr. Steele. You're a good detective, but sometimes you see things that ain't there. Sometimes you're too good, you know? Except it's not good, and you start going down a train of thought that's going completely to the wrong station. And sometimes you just need to watch a stream and get your nails painted. Not that I'm too good at it, to be honest. Last time I painted mine, I got it all over my... Rita. Yeah, boss? Ladies' night sounds great. Thanks. Oh, ladies' night. I stood at the entrance of the first museum of colonized history in Hyperion City, waiting for Christopher Morales. We'd been talking some after our fairly disastrous first meeting, and when he'd suggested an outing to the museum, I agreed to meet him. Oh God, the boa! Christopher waved at me excitedly. The way the sun was filtering in through the dome above illuminated him with a soft glow. I felt my stomach flip and tried to keep my face smooth as I greeted him. Hey, Morales. I'm glad you agreed to meet me here, Juno. I must say, too, your outfit suits you a lot better today. You seem much more comfortable. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Cecil really knows how to pick an outfit to flatter a lady, huh? Well, I suppose our last meeting was hardly under the best of circumstances. But you're here now, so what would you like to look at? I find it all simply fascinating. There's the Artifacts of Terra exhibit, of course, but I hear the Hall of Maps is supposed to be riveting as well. Terra. It says special in it. Oh, the pride flag! There's Mario and Sonic in the corner. That's really cute. Oh. And I think that's a Star Trek thing. And that's a Tamagotchi, and that's a Furby, and that's a Diet. Oh, this is sweet. The pride flag's really making me happy, though. Anyway, we made our way through the museum to the exhibition rooms, Christopher feeding me tidbits about various artifacts along the way. After a short walk, made only slightly longer by various detours, we arrived at the right exhibit room. Here we are, the Artifacts of Terra. An excellent choice. I've seen a few of these pieces at other exhibits over the years, but they never fail to amaze me. It takes a lot to amaze me. I don't doubt it. You seem pretty confident that I'll like this exhibit. What if I don't? Oh, but I'm sure you will. Is that so? Well, you won't be quite so confident once I've discovered your terrible secret. Christopher paused a little, just a slight hesitation between one step and the next. His voice was carefully neutral when he spoke again, and it threw me a bit. And what's that? I don't know. I haven't discovered it yet, but everyone has one. Or more. His tone had a bitter edge to it, and the way he said that, well, it drugged up a memory or two. Or more. Well, I'm sure you won't get a thing from me. Indeed, I don't think you'll figure it out at all. I think I can outwit a little old detective. I took his jibe as it was clearly meant, a lifeboat from whichever regret was showing on my face. Excuse you, I'm a great detective. He clapped his hands together immediately with a devious grin. Then let's have a challenge. I pick an object and you deduce its use. It was the silly kind of game that kids played, but it didn't sound like a terrible way to spend time with someone. And anyway, I'd had worse dates. This sounds like a fishy sort of game. Are you sure you want to challenge my detective abilities? Shall we begin? Take this device, for instance. What do you make of it, oh great detective? Witty answer for sure. This? It's a moron detector. Why else would I be standing all the way back here? He stared at me for a good 10 seconds before he reacted with a startled laugh. Oh dear. I wonder what would happen if I... He stepped forward grinning, and as he got closer to the case, he began whistling. He stepped forward and whistled louder. Back, and his whistle died down. He shook his head in mock sadness. I'm afraid the results are conclusive. I'm a terrible fool as well. That makes us both fools. It's your turn now, Christopher. I can't wait. I stepped back and surveyed the room, looking for a likely object to challenge him with. Ooh. Walkman. My eyes settled on a small, chunky rectangular of very old, brightly colored plastic. How about that? Aha! Christopher wandered closer to the display case, inspecting it carefully. The placard near it identified the object as a stride fellow. Apparently it had a small compartment inside that people would use to store money. Simply fascinating, wouldn't you agree, Juno? People of old Terra would carry them around as symbols of status, with the color of one's stride fellow playing an important role in determining how one was seen by society. I don't see that anywhere on the sign. Ah, of course it wouldn't be on the sign. I came across an article about them the other day, an engrossing read. You must remind me to show it to you sometime, explaining all about the status and significance of each color. He rambled on for a little longer, expounding upon the apparently intricate hierarchies that surrounded things. He must have caught me staring at him because he flushed and cut himself off. I apologize, Juno. I didn't mean to run away on a tangent like that. I don't mean to bore you. You weren't boring me at all. I love hearing you talk about stuff like that. Ah. While he'd been rambling, Christopher had walked all the way around the display case and come back around again to the start. He was standing close to me, and I could see the blush reddening his cheeks. Thank you, Juno. Christopher seemed like there was something more than he meant to tell me, but before he could say anything else, an alarm started blaring, and the moment was gone. Oh, there's beeping in my ears, so I can't focus on the text. Attention all museum guests. Due to reports of an incoming sandstorm, the first museum of colonized history will be closing early. Please proceed to the nearest exit. We thank you for your cooperation and your interest in history. It appears our time here is over, Juno. Yeah, I guess so. Say, Christopher, do you need a ride home? If you're offering, Juno, I won't say no. Let's get out of here, then. The drive back from the museum was mostly quiet. We talked a little about what parts of the museum we'd liked, but for the most part, Chris sat silently. I kept my gaze focused out the front window while I drove, but I could see that Christopher kept glancing over at me out of the corner of my eye. Christopher, do you want me to drop you off at where you're staying? No, thank you, Juno. It's all right. Just drive home and I can get to the place myself from there. It was dark by the time we got back to my apartment, and not just because of the sandstorm. He walked me to my door and stood standing by while I unlocked it. I turned to look at him. There was something very soft in his expression that took my breath away. Juno. Christopher? I had a wonderful time today. Thank you for coming with me. Anytime. Good night. I'll talk to you soon. Until we see each other again, Juno. I watched him walk off into the night for a moment more, then went inside. I really did have a nice time with him today. Even if I still didn't know all of who Christopher Morales was, I was starting to realize that I really wanted to. I'd call him again soon. Ah! Yeah, it went great! Hello? It went fine! Was I supposed to be honest? Oh, back, I guess. I stood at the entrance of the first Museum of Colonized History in Hyperion City, waiting for Christopher Morales. We'd been talking some after our fairly disastrous first meeting, and when he suggested an outing to the museum, I agreed to meet with him. Christopher waved at me excitedly. Illuminated him. I'm just gonna go. I've read some of this. I guess we're supposed to go to the Hall of Maps. Wonderful! It'll be... Oh, let me go back. The Hall of Maps sounds good. I haven't seen it in... Actually, I don't think I've seen it at all. Wonderful! It'll be new to the both of us. I wouldn't call it new. He batted me softly on the arm and grinned. Come now, Juno. I want to see everything. I won't have you being a killjoy about it. I rolled my eyes, smiled, and followed him down the short passageway to the Hall of Maps. It was a room barely longer than it was wide, though it was plenty wide, stuffed to bursting with various geographically inclined relics from the past millennia. We gravitated towards an installation on the far wall, visible from the door thanks to its enormous size and the neon tube that made it up. It was Hyperion City, laid out for examination. Here, the tight, bright grid of Old Town, and beside it, just outside the green circle of the dome, was the sprawl industrial of the industrial district, with the old munitions factory sitting in the center like a fat red tick. There, the curated orange streets of Minerva Heights and idyllic turquoise Halcyon Park. The yellow university campus and the various HCPD precincts dotted all over in deep blue. It's spectacular, isn't it? Yeah, it really is. Where did you grow up, Juno? Uh-huh. Oh, about here. I gestured to a point in the shining lilac mass of Old Town. Christopher crouches to examine it. He stares at it for a few seconds before straightening up and smiling curiously at me. A close-knit neighborhood? Not really. His smile faded, leaving only the curiosity. There wasn't any pity in his expression. A rough neighborhood is what it was. People stuck together, yeah, but I don't know how much of that was friendship and how much was fear. Share something personal. I spent a lot of time out of the house. Mom wasn't... Well, she wasn't the best parent. So Mick, Sasha, and I would wander the place at all hours. I rolled my shoulders awkwardly and crossed my arms in front of me. I wasn't hugging myself. I was just, well, Ben too, and even Annie sometimes. I coughed and shifted and moved away from those trains of thought. It had been going so well. We're not really good at sneaking around. There are folks you don't want to get caught by when you're barely 4 feet high and just pushing 80 pounds soaking wet. And then stuff happened. We grew up. I joined the HCPD. I pointed to one of the navy dots. I met Rita, left the HCPD, and here I am. Christopher smiled then, softly. Here you are. There was a long sort of silence. It wasn't really silent. The erratic hum of the map in the various display cases didn't exactly lend itself to the peaceful calm, but everything was still. Christopher's glasses gleamed in the neon light. There was a sudden flurry of footsteps from outside the door. And so I said to him, in what world is that true? I can't believe it, really, thinking that Ankum and Martian wines are interchangeable. Was he raised on an asteroid? And then there was an awful mess, of course, but people have to learn. I doubt that anyone in my employ will be making that mistake again. Should we... Sorry, no time! He pulled me forward by the arm, pressing himself between me and the neon map. The light turned his hair into an artfully disheveled halo around his face. I can't be seen by them. Help me, Juno, please. Well, let's just save real fast here. Just real quick. Kiss him. I studied his face briefly. He was worried, more worried than I'd ever seen him. Granted, I hadn't seen him that much, but still. I'm gonna kiss you. Is that all right? Christopher blushed, but nodded. I had to stand up on my toes just a little, and he bent his neck down to help bridge the gap. He tilted his head just so... Oh, God. And our lips met. I heard the footsteps, one pair of heels, one of boots, reach the doorway and pause. Oh, we seem to be interrupting something. Let's leave them to it. And they were gone. I pulled my head back just a little. I think they're gone. Since when had breathing been so difficult? A smirk tugged at the corner of his mouth, and his hands had found the straps of my holster. I think we're safe to move now, if you want to go. We could go, or... I can't remember if he pulled me forward or I moved on my own. There was something about him. I couldn't put my finger on it. His glasses pressed against my cheekbone. His boa tickled my throat, and his perfume... Another word jumped to mind. Cologne was all around me, and I pulled back again to try and think, because there was something there just at the edge of my mind. An alarm started going off, and we jumped apart, startled. Attention, all museum guests. Due to reports of an incoming sandstorm, the first museum of colonized history will be leaving early. Closing early. Please proceed to the nearest exit. We thank you for your cooperation and your interest in history. Well, that puts quite a dent in our plans. Shall I walk you to the door, Juno? Yeah. We walked side by side through the museum, close enough that our fingers brushed together. I can see now why they said the date went badly the first time. Christopher? Yes, Juno. Would you like me to drive you home? I'd like that a lot, Juno. The walk back to my car was short but gloomy. The oncoming sandstorm had made everything overcast. I hesitated a moment before getting in the car, my mind thinking back to the scene in the Hall of Maps. There was something... Juno, are you all right? Do I tell him what's on my mind? Honesty. Christopher, what was going on in the Hall of Maps back there? Who was that? Oh my God, it was the mayor! Oh, no, I think I was doing a very accurate piranha impersonation. Mayor Pilot Pereira. They and I aren't exactly on the best of terms. And... Juno, I don't see why this is any of your business. Oh, you don't see why I think this is my business? Why I might be curious how my boyfriend has a grudge against the incredibly corrupt mayor of Hyperion? Boyfriend? What? Shit, I didn't mean to say that. It's all right, Juno. What? I said it's all right. You are correct. It isn't fair of me to keep you in the dark about this, especially if we are going to make a relationship of any kind work between us. And he told me a story. He kept it vague and sketchy, didn't tell me any names, but the gist of it was that he'd gone to a very expensive party. Pereira had also been in attendance. Something, something, mortal insult, something, something, champagne was thrown. He actually said something, something, although there was a bit more in between. So you can see why run-in with Mix Pereira would be less than ideal on a date. That makes sense, I guess? Wonderful. I am sorry I put you in an uncomfortable position, Juno. Christopher, it's fine, I promise. Now, let's go before the storm starts to get any worse. The drive back from the museum was mostly quiet. We talked a little about what parts of the museum we'd liked, but for the most part, Chris sat quietly. I kept my gaze focused out the front window while I drove, but I could see that Christopher kept glancing over at me at the corner of my eye. Christopher, do you want me to drop you off where you're staying? Oh, no, thank you, Juno. It's all right. Just drive home and I can get to the place myself from there. It was dark by the time we got back to my apartment, and not just because of the sandstorm. He walked me to my door and stood standing by while I unlocked it. I turned to look at him. There was something very soft in his expression that took my breath away. Juno. Christopher. I had a wonderful time today. Thank you again for coming with me. Anytime. Good night. I'll talk to you soon. Until we see each other again, Juno. I watched him walk out into the night for a moment more than one inside. I really did have a nice time with him today. Even if I still didn't know what all of who Christopher Morales was, I was starting to realize that I really wanted to. I'd call him again soon. Great job. Yes? Okay, so is that it? So I was messing around and I didn't know you could go on multiple dates with everyone. Oops. So, okay. Ugh, I can't sleep. It appears that sleep is an elusive mistress tonight. Do you want to join me for a walk? Honestly, that sounds like exactly what I need. Excellent. Shall I meet you outside your apartment? I'll be there in 15. I'll be waiting. Heart emoji. Oh, you and your heart emojis. While the circumstances may be less than ideal, I can't say that I'm not happy to see you, Juno. Yeah, well, I'm happy to see you too, Christopher. Shall we? Let's. Hyperion City is beautiful at night, is it not? He was right. For once the city looked calm, the streets peaceful and lit with orange circles of light every few feet. You could almost forget all the horrible things that went down in the shadows. He was beautiful, too. The dim light illuminated his face softly, his cheekbones casting shadows as he looked up. Hold his hand. Why, Juno. Yeah, well, don't make a big deal out of it. I wouldn't dream of it, my dear. City isn't the only thing that looks beautiful tonight. Thank you, Juno. I was honestly a little surprised when you responded, Juno. At this late hour, I assumed you would already be asleep. I have to say, though, Ed, I am glad that I messaged you. What can I say? It's been a rough few weeks, months, years. This week, though. This week has been nice. I'm glad to hear you say that. Where should we walk to, Juno? You choose the way. Walk in the park sounds nice, actually. Let's head to Halcyon. It had been a long time since I'd been in Halcyon for anything other than a case. There were some memories that never faded. You look pensive tonight, Juno. Care to share what's on your mind? Flirt outrageously to distract him. I used to live around here, actually. With my mother and my brother. For a while, at least. What happened? It's a long story. I'm listening. My mother wasn't the most stable person. When we were young and she still had her job, then the good days tended to outnumber the bad. But then she lost her job and blamed it on me. Things started to go really downhill from there. I got out, went to work with the HCPD, but then... Oh, Juno. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's move on, okay? There's something about the night that encourages intimacy, don't you think? He was right. Something about a night spent in company always seemed to soften the edges of everything, made cares seem more distant and truths seem just a little bit closer. There was something about him, too. Something was drawing me towards this man, this Christopher Morales. I wasn't entirely sure how I felt about that, but I can't say that it was an unpleasant feeling. Yeah. Christopher, it's been a while since anything like this was in the cards for me. I'm kind of at a loss of what to do, and Shh, Juno, it's all right. I understand. You've been wonderful. Please don't worry. We kept walking after that, the light gliding his cheekbones. It does say that. Every time he looked at me, he smiled, his dark eyes flashing. I gulped, feeling myself blushing under his gaze, which only made him smile more. So, the park sure is beautiful in the dark, huh? Absolutely breathtaking. Like someone else I could name. Are you all right, Juno? Yeah, I'm fine. How do I distract him from complimenting me so much? Ask about his interest. So, what does a man like Christopher do for fun? You mean when I'm not romancing a lady? No? What? No? Only teasing, detective. My, you do fluster easily. No, I do not. Come now, dear, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Oh my god, shut up! So, how did you get mixed up with the Kanagawas, Christopher? Their usual victims are the ones too stupid to avoid them or too greedy to pass up a chance at fame, and you don't seem like either one. My reasons are my own, Juno. Christopher seemed uneasy with this question. Was he uneasy just because I was being nosy, or was it because he really did have something to hide? Should I press him on it or let it drop? I'm scared, but I'm going to press him. You have to admit, though, it seems a little weird from the outside, right? Somehow you ended up on Cecil's insane little show with me, and you don't seem like the kind of crazy to enjoy that sort of thing. I appreciate the compliment, Juno, but I really wish you wouldn't press me on this. Damn it, you know what I mean. I just don't understand why anyone would ever willingly involve themselves with the Kanagawas, so that must mean that you have a really persuasive reason. Well, it isn't any business of yours. I needed a favor that the Kanagawas could provide, so I agreed to be a part of Cecil's project. What kind of favor? Juno, please. It's a favor from my employer, and they would be very displeased if I told you. Don't ask this of me. Yeah, all right, fine. Thank you, Juno. Yeah, I get it. His evasive answers really hadn't told me much, but there wasn't really anything I could do about it now. He either didn't trust me enough to say, or he really was that afraid of whoever he was working for. Christopher wasn't going to tell me anything else tonight, so I let it go. We stopped at a little terrace overlooking a small fountain, and Christopher leaned on a fence, looking out into the night. I watched him, studying his profile. There really was something familiar about him. I could almost place it. Like what you see, detective? There it was again, his face, something about his voice when he said detective like that. Had I met him before? What should I do? Confront. Christopher, do you mind if I ask you a weird question? Why, of course, Juno. You can ask me anything. Have I met you before? What? It's just, there's something about you that seems really familiar. Really, detective, I don't know what you're talking about. And your voice, the way you say my and call me detective, it almost sounds like, oh, excuse me, Juno, I have to take this. Hey, now, wait a minute. He stepped away, talking in a low voice. I caught a hint of the voice on the phone, and it sounded familiar, but not in a way that I could place. His face got very serious, in a way that I hadn't seen on him before. I apologize, Juno, but something has come up. I'm afraid that we will have to cut the rest of our walk short. Shall I walk you back to your apartment? Oh. No, it's fine. I'll walk myself back. Good luck with whatever you need to do. Juno, really, Not, it's fine. Good night, Chris, and good luck with whatever you have to take care of. Okay, so maybe that wasn't fair of me. I could feel his eyes looking at me as I walked away, but I didn't look back. Couldn't look back. I could feel myself falling for this man, Christopher Morales, and even though I hardly knew anything about him, and I'd be lying if I said that didn't scare me. Oh well. I'd call him in the morning. Hyperion City. City full of secrets. Beautiful and alluring on the outside, but if you get too close, you end up dead in the gutter, a knife in your back. The people here are just the same. On the outside, glittering and golden and everything you think you might want, but get too close. Get too close, and you wind up with a broken heart. Oh no. Mr. Steele? Yeah, Rita. Are you alright? You've been sitting in here in the dock for an hour already, and I was starting to get worried. What do I say? Actually admit that you're not okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Damn it! Are you sure you're... I said I was fine, didn't I? I'm sorry, Rita. Listen, boss, I know you're sad right now, but you were the one to back out? Rita, please. No, I mean it, boss. You were too afraid to get close to anyone, so you just pushed them away. Rita, you know I'm right, boss. I've seen you do it before. Maybe next time just give him a chance? She turns to go back in, and I feel my breath quicken and my heart start to race. Wait, Rita! Yeah, boss? I don't want to be alone again yet. Will you stay with me? Oh, Mr. Steele. Of course I will. You don't gotta ask me that. Thanks, Rita. Now, are you sure there's nothing else you want to talk about? Rita, I don't know if I did the right thing. What do you mean, boss? Well, something wasn't adding up with what he was telling me, so I just kind of stayed back trying to figure out what was going on, and then it was too late. So now I'm just alone. Again. Mr. Steele, you've got to stop beating yourself up about stuff like this. So you made a mistake this time. Yeah, it hurts, but now you know not to do the same thing next time, right? Yeah, I guess. It's just like the stream I was watching the other day, too. This girl met these 3 guys, right? And she couldn't decide which one to fall in love with, so she just kind of dated all of them at the same time, trying to figure it out along the way. And Rita, yeah, boss? Thanks for everything. Oh, Mr. Steele, you know you don't gotta thank me. You're my best friend. Besides Franny, I guess. But Franny is Franny, so you know what I mean. So of course I'm gonna be there for you. Still, thank you. Okay, Mr. Steele. I've gotta go now. Oh, I've got one more thing for you. This came in for you earlier. There's a note, but I didn't read it yet. It says it's for you. It's a single rose, dark red and blooming. I tell Rita thanks and send her on her way, then sit down again to read the letter. Juno. I am sorry that this will be the end of our acquaintance. I've had a remarkably good time with you this week, and however I might have wished to prolong the time we spent together, you have made it clear that you don't feel the same. I do believe that we could have had something special, but I will respect your wishes and leave you to your life here in Hyperion City. Signed, your better half. There isn't a name on this paper, but there doesn't need to be. Even his handwriting was elegant. The paper still smelled of him, but I'd be lying if I said that didn't make my heart skip a beat. He was long gone, though, and I was still here, alone again. No! That's the way things go sometimes. You get an opportunity, sometimes even more than one if you're lucky, but things just, well, sometimes they just don't work out. Whatever the hell had happened this week, I'm glad it's over. Damn, I'm tired. No! No! No, what do you mean that's the end? No! No, not that ending. No, that's so sad. No. Yes, I want to play again. Play from day one. Okay.